Well, auction day, everybody. Since this one's a little closer to home, I don't have to get up so early. But we're going to a different auction today than we normally go to. This one we go to about once a year. And it's actually going to be a lot smaller than normal from what I can tell. But maybe that means there'll be more deals. Who knows? Let's hit the road. Got any thoughts? Not yet. Well, guys, this is my illustrious uncle who supplies most of our 22s for our 22 videos. Going through some pretty country here in the snow. And like normal, we're late again. Probably the most people I've seen at a gun auction in a while.
$90 for it. We keep it 90. Now $100. $90 bid now. 23, 23, 2200, 23, and now 4. 2300, I would do it, 23, and now 4. Yeah, I'm with it at 23, and now 4. 2300, and now 4, 24, 2300, and now 4, 2300, and now 4. How about 50? 2300,
Webley 455 Colt. It's like Web 455 Colt. Yeah, for like a Webley.
Sold for $2,300, number 2. 2,300.
455 Colt. .41 long Colt.
That's Rimfire, isn't it?
No.
Don, you got lot number 25. On the Timber Road, 11.
41 long Colt.
Now 1,800.
1,800 on the M1 Grand.
18. Now quarter. 18 and a quarter.
Remember when those things were 900 bucks?
18 and a quarter. Now half. 18 and a half and 75. 1875 and 1900. 19 and a quarter. Now quarter. 19 and a quarter and a half and half and half and half. 19 and a quarter and a half and 75. 1975. 1975 and 75. 19 and a half and 75. Now that's $2,000. 1975. Make it even. You've been fighting so hard for it. $2,000. 1975 and 2 to 2. 52 to 2. 1975 and 2,000. 1975 and 2. All in, all done, 2,000. I have sold it for 1975. What's your number? $270.
Yeah.
Now 80. $280.
Here.
280. Now 300. 280. You got 300. Now 310. 300.
There you guys go. Canyon single action. That's the picture.
Yep. Now 900. 900.
He's in it.
Oh, already in it. 825. $825.
You're missing out.
Tell Ethan how much he's missing out on.
Everything. Guns are selling for $100. It's insane.
Yeah. 1911's going for $20. You know? FAL's going for $5.
A bunch of old junk guns too. The stuff that he would like. No one's bidding on them.
He might very well be. FAL. Well, if that was Ethan, who's out? Ethan might be attacking us from long range.
Now 1,400, now 50, 1450 now, 1,500, 16 now, but a half of that, 1,500 now, 1,525. Help you out one time, 1,500 now, 1,25, 1,500 now, 1,25. Give it up to 1,525. Sold at $1,500, you win number 186.
The old Rossi lever actions are bringing a lot more than they used to.
800 now, 800 now, 25,
The Rossi R92.
800 now, 825. Anybody that's at 825. Sold at $800, you win number.
Are you happy there, Caleb?
We got a couple.
It's been a bloodbath. Is it a bloodbath?
Yeah. What you got there, Noah?
Your single action. Shoots BBs. What do you got there, Jake? Show it off to us.
I really don't know what it is, but I know it's a pellet gun or a BB gun.
All right, we're back, everybody. That was quite the auction. I can tell you right now that since there aren't a lot of guns on the market right now, as far as new guns or even used guns, that was one of the higher priced auctions we have been to in a while, as you've already seen from some of the video clips I've inserted. But we did come away with quite a few firearms, and we're just going to kind of start here smallest to biggest, and this was one of the first ones we got. This is an RG, still in the box, which everybody knows, most of people know, this is a German-made gun imported to Florida. It's actually assembled in the United States, probably in the 80s. And this is a little RG Model 25. Of course, it's in 25 auto. And we didn't give a lot for this, I believe $120. But these are some of the things you have to watch out for at auctions, because sometimes people aren't the most honest. Not the auctioneers or the company, of course, but they can't check every single gun. And whoever brought this gun in neglected to mention that most of the internals are missing, such as the spring, the firing pins, the catch for the slide. So you can really disassemble this thing pretty easy. However, I did get online and looked up and found all the parts, and we can purchase the parts for around $10 to $15 all in. But this is the little RG25. And it comes with all the original paperwork that it came with originally, and it's even got warranties of liability, which are probably, of course, by this point outdated. However, this is a fun little, this is one of those guns where you actually have to keep your finger inside the trigger guard, because if you put it on the outside, you're at risk of getting your finger in front of the barrel. But this should be a little fun gun to shoot, and a nice little range toy, maybe even a nice little boot gun. But anyway, all complete in the box for $120. These things usually bring about $150, so we probably saved $30 there. With the cost of the parts, we probably saved 15 or 10. All right, now moving on. This is our next purchase. This is the Charter Arms Undercover 38 Special, and what's cool about this gun is it's never been fired. It's brand new in the box. Absolutely everything about this screams brand new. And we gave $300 for this. Everything on it works just fine. Like I said, brand new. It's got a little cylinder ring, but that's just from people working the cylinder. It comes in the box with the lock. And I can tell you what this cost, and this is actually an older tag, but it says $440 right on the side. And in this market, these are around $500. We gave $300. So I'm going to go ahead and say that this gun, we have saved $200 on this Charter Arms Undercover 38 Special. Moving right along here, we have one of my absolute favorite style of guns. This is the Ruger Single 6. This is an almost brand new one. It is in really good condition, and we got this gun for $300, which is really good because these guns are going anywhere from $500 to $600, maybe $600 plus with tax nowadays. And it's in really good condition. Actually came with an extra set of grips, and this one has a 22 Magnum cylinder with it as well. So all in all, we saved at least $300 on this gun, possibly more. If you guys have watched many of my videos, you know that I absolutely love the Single 6. I consider this the best of the single action 22 revolvers. And we have a video coming out pretty soon with a 9-inch barrel. And the video's already made, but we just happened to stumble on this 4 3/4 inch barrel up there. And like I said, $300, this is a really good deal, especially nowadays. We'll put that aside. Now we come into some of the fun stuff. This is the Colt Peacemaker. Now any of you that watch Guns of the West, Dustin Weineger's channel, you have already seen this. What this is, with all the paperwork and everything, this is a air pistol. It is a BB gun. However, if you look at the end here, you can see it looks like a 45, but inside there is a tiny little hole for a BB. And this is super heavy. It's got all the Colt markings on it. This one is the Marshall model with the star in it. So if you listen closely, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a 4-click Colt. And like I said, everything about this thing is, it's made with the same It's made to the same specifications. It's the same weight. The sights are the same. You actually have to put it on half cock to free the cylinder, and you can eject these things which hold your BB, and it is a CO2 gun. And so this is probably the coolest little air-powered pistol I've ever seen. It carries a CO2 in the grip, and we got this thing for $30. I don't know for sure what they bring in on the market, but I guarantee you it's more than $30. I feel like we probably saved around $50 on this gun. I couldn't tell you for sure, but I feel like for $30 we got an excellent deal. This thing actually shoots. You'll be seeing a review on it, complete in the box with all the paperwork. And like I said, this is actually a gun. Let me shut this down, I'll show you. This is actually a Colt Mark gun with the Colt brand name. I don't know if Colt makes them or not, but that is cool to have that Colt brand name on there. So anyway, $30, I think that was a pretty good deal. All right, now, this is a little something different. This, the fact that it's in the box means a lot, but this is a Remington new model Army in 44, but this is the Navy Arms model, which they don't make them anymore. And this gun was probably from the 60s, possibly 70s. I don't know a lot about Navy Arms, but it came in the box complete with all of the papers. And once again, if you look at this, it has a cylinder ring, but looking inside of the gun, it doesn't appear that this one has ever been fired. And that's really a common deal with a lot of these black powder guns. People buy them because they look cool, but they never do go ahead and get all the components and fire them. They just work them, and that's probably where the cylinder ring comes from. We wound up giving $240 for this, which is fairly high for a used cap and ball revolver. But if you go on Gunbroker and actually look at bids on cap and ball revolvers right now, you'll find a lot of these going for $400, which is insane to me because, you know, they used to be $200 brand new. All right, everybody, so it actually has the tag on it. This was purchased at an Alco store, which is pretty amazing because I never knew the Alcos. They're out of business now. They used to be a local Kansas store, but I never knew that they sold any kind of replica firearms at any point. But this gun was bought in 1979. Excuse me, this gun was bought in 1974 for a price of $79.85. And all of that, the receipt and everything is still in this box. So that really makes this kind of cool. And I think that for $250, with everything still in the box, we got a pretty good deal. All right, so this is something that we got an excellent deal on. A lot of you old timers will recognize this box. We used to see them in the replica world a lot, but we don't anymore because they've quit making them. This is an Army San Marco, complete in the box with all the original paperwork. What appears to be once again a never fired Army San Marco Walker. And these guns run anywhere from $400 to $500 used nowadays. And it does have a ring on the cylinder. Well, it's the case with a lot of these guns. But what I noticed is the T-spring is extremely strong. I don't know if that's going to come down under recoil like a lot of them. It feels very good in the hand. It kind of feels like that second generation Colt that is actually over there. You can't see it right now. But I haven't even worked this at all. It definitely has the cylinder is timed to the second notch. Everything feels like it locks up. It has that ring on it, so it might need a little bit of attention. But like I said, these things run anywhere around $400 used nowadays, especially for the Army San Marco model. This one we purchased for a grand total of $200, so I believe we probably saved ourselves $200 on this. And considering this still has the advertisements, the original paperwork from EMF, even though this is an Army San Marco, this one's imported by EMF. And let me just see this. That is the return policy. We have our new telephone number for EMF, and I believe that's probably out of date now. And we have a manual for care and feeding of replica firearms by Dr. Spark, which is kind of cool. I've never seen a manual come with these things like that. And here we have an advertisement for case sets you could get, let's see, this is evidently a long time ago, because this 1847 Walker is priced in a case set for 2 at $250 or $169 for a brand new one. And so I don't know the exact date that this was sold. Like I said, I've looked through these papers, and I'm just really impressed that this is all still in the box. Appears to have never been fired, and it has a little different rifling than you see on a lot of the replicas today. But yeah, I was really impressed that we got this for $200. This is actually going to wind up going down the road in a trade to the Wild Snapper for some other work that he's doing for us. He did not have a Walker, and we stumbled onto this one. So that's going to be part of our trade for some gunsmithing work that he is doing for us. Anyway, we're going to put that away. On to the next one. Now, if you guys know anything about these things, you go ahead and tell me. This is a 17 caliber air rifle by McCall, and I really can't tell you anything about it because I can't read Russian, and that's really the only language that's on this box. Other than right here, it says designed and made in Russia. The rest of it is in Russian, and I don't know what these things cost. It is definitely a heavy-duty air rifle. It has a folding stock, and like you see these sights up here and everything, and an adjustable stock here. This is a 17 caliber air rifle, and it appears to be fairly potent. And it has some really strange sights on it. This gun, I have no idea what it cost, but we gave $30 for it, so I feel like we probably saved ourselves quite a bit of money. Something tells me this is an $80 to $100 gun. I don't know if that's the truth or not. It says MP-61, 4.5 millimeter. And yeah, that's what this is. I don't know anything else about it other than it says designed and made in Russia, and it's basically a pellet gun. So if you guys have any more information on this gun, let us know. I don't know I don't know anything about it other than $30 seemed like a really good deal, so we snatched it up. So what we have here next is a Montgomery Warding Company 16 gauge, and it is made of tensile steel, and everything works on it. It is actually super tight. The opening latch does not go too far to the left, and somebody has in the past disconnected the safety, so I don't know what that is. I'm not really sure what these are worth or what they actually are. These side locks like this, you see them on a lot of Fox style shotguns or Savage style shotguns, which I'm not sure, but I would almost guess this is made by Savage for the Montgomery Ward store. This is a Ward's Western Field. So we gave $220 for this gun in 16 gauge. I feel like that's an excellent deal. I have a feeling this is probably a $300 to $400 gun. So I feel like we saved ourselves around $100, possibly $150, maybe a little more. And so, like I said, the wood is excellent. The butt plate and all that is original from the store. It doesn't have much finish left on it, but everything on it is straight, and like I said, everything is super tight. 16 gauge Ward's Western Field. Alright guys, up next we have what looks like a very old shotgun, and that's because this is a 12 gauge LC Smith. And anybody that knows their double barrel shotguns know that LC Smith guns are a premium. This is a Damascus barrel, and so it is not going to be fired with any kind of high pressure smokeless loads. This gun is designed to be fired with black powder loads. A lot of people will not even fire a Damascus barrel most of the time because they don't know how to load black powder shells. We do, and this gun, it's got a few dents and dings and no finish left. Somebody has used this a lot in the field, and it's a beautiful gun. The pattern is beautiful. The Damascus on this is in perfect condition, no rust, pitting, or anything to make me worry about it. As long as we're using period correct black powder shells, we should be fine. We'll stay, I promise you, we will stay on the low end of high powered. And like I said, this is an LC Smith. These are really high dollar shotguns, and we purchased this one for $300. It doesn't have a lot of finish left on it, and the wood is really dinged up a bit, but like I said, an LC Smith is going to run you like this anywhere from $600 to $1,000, so we've saved at least $300, and I feel like more because this one's actually in pretty good condition. considering there's no rust in the barrels or anything like that. So, possibly a $300 save, maybe a little more, maybe a little less. Moving on. Alright, now, this little jewel.
The piece of resistance.
The piece of resistance. Okay. So what we got going on down here is this is something that was mislabeled because this shotgun and the L.C. Smith sold pretty close to each other. They labeled this one as the Damascus barrel. And so nobody was really interested in it. And it is a fine steel barrel. This is not Damascus in any way, shape, or form. This is a tool steel, a fluid steel. This is a hammer-fired shotgun. And it all works. All the hammers work. Everything work on it. This is a W. Richards side-by-side. This is in 12 gauge. It is not Damascus. As a matter of fact, they wrote on the tag here, and they said when they sold it, Damascus barrel, display only, non-firing. Well, I'm here to tell you this is definitely not a Damascus barrel gun, and everything about it seems perfectly solid. I believe that was written for the L.C. Smith, which is a Damascus barrel gun. So anyway, a few little tips and tricks about this. This is a W. Richards. We have a video up on a different Richards shotgun that's a little more modern than this already on the channel. So how you open it is you do that. You open that sideways, and everything in here is fairly tight. There's a little bit of play on the pin, not too bad. The firing pins are all intact, and we actually have the extractor spring still intact, which is a hard thing to find on guns of this age. It's a little stiff, needs a little cleaning. Anyway, and then you just lock it back up like that, and this is actually a really strong locking system. I feel like this should be, even though it's fairly old, most of everything on it is intact. They never did have a forearm on these, and I feel like this is a $400 gun. We gave $200 for it, and so I think we did really well here. Once again, even though this is fluid steel, we are not going to fire any high pressure cartridges out of this. We may fire some low brass smokeless, maybe number 8s or something like that. I think that would be perfectly fine. But this is once again going to be a lot of black powder shells going through this gun. So anyway, there we go. I feel like we might have saved ourselves around $200 on that gun. All right, bring that one up here. All right, so this one is brand new in the box. Has the magazine here, never been opened. The bolt is still over here in the bag. This is a Ruger American rifle in 22-250, and the reason we got this is the 22-250 is our working round on the ranch because we literally have coyote problems, and especially in cabin season, it can really cut into your profits unless you have a good solid rifle that you know how to use. And we have always used 22-250s for our coyotes rounds. Between all of us that work out there, hundreds and hundreds of coyotes taken with 22-250. So many, in fact, that my brother-in-law, who has been running an old Remington 22-250 for the past 15 years, as I believe at this point shot so many rounds through it, he shot the rifling out of the barrel. It just doesn't shoot like it used to. And so he saw that the Ruger American 22-250 was at this auction, and he thought that would be a really good deal. Now this gun is not like what you think of when you think of a Savage. This stock is completely solid. This is heavy duty. This gun is a solid piece. The reason we would go with synthetic, because you know on this channel we mostly like wood, but we're going with synthetic on this gun because our pickup guns and truck rifles, they're so easily scratched when they're actually being used just for work guns. And we're going to see how this works. Hopefully we can get a video of it soon. But I really, really love these Ruger American rifles. And as far as a working tool on the ranch, you just don't get any better than a 22-250, especially in a Ruger. And so anyway, this gun sells for around $500 to $550 brand new at the store. We paid a little more than we wanted for this. We bought it for $400, of course, no scope included, but it does have the magazine and the bolt and everything with it. And like I said, this is actually still new in the box. This has never been fired. So we saved ourselves $100. And we are going to mount a Leopold scope on it because that is the scopes that we use here on the ranch. One more thing, guys. I just love that Ruger symbol there on the grip. This was an awesome rifle. And I believe, unless I'm mistaken, that does it for the firearms purchases. We bought a lot of ammo and some other things. But this is the last thing we bought that I feel like deserves mentioning. This is a box of Remington 25 shotgun shells that you don't see very often, because this is a special box. All brand new, never fired. This is Ducks Unlimited, a special edition, completely brass shotgun shells. Now this box was not cheap. So a box like this is generally worth around $200 just because this is a Ducks Unlimited special edition. We gave a grand total of $70 for this, so I feel like we've saved, especially even used, I think we saved around $100, maybe a little more. But I don't know if you can see that, but those are just absolutely beautiful. Most people would never shoot these, but Caleb bought them with the idea that he is going to shoot them and reload the brass cartridges. And we will use the reload brass cartridges for black powder, and we will shoot them in that L.C. Smith Damascus barrel. Alright guys, so that was our trip to the auction today. I hope you all enjoyed what we did and what we got. It was quite a day. It was a long day. And a few things that I've learned today are gun prices are going back up, mostly because of supply and demand issues. And the cost of ammo is really high right now, even at gun auctions. But there are still some deals to be found if you're willing to sit there for 6 or 7 hours and wait for them to come on. One more thing, guys. These auctions, if people don't keep attending them, they're starting to become a thing of the past because everyone's buying and selling on the internet. So if you have a local auction house who happens to, you know, have a firearms auction every now and then, look them up and go attend and, you know, support them, because if we don't, pretty soon it's all going to be Gunbroker. And as we have learned, there are very few deals to be had on Gunbroker. That's a seller's market. These in-person auctions, for us anyway, are kind of the last place for a buyer's market. Anyway, trust in God, keep your powder dry. See you next time. Bye.